A very fresh morning, children. Welcome to online class. How are you, children? We all know that we are in lockdown due to coronavirus. So, please be safe with your family. Wash your hands and take necessary precautions. This is your English teacher. I'm going to teach you a poem in English. Do you all like poem? What is the pronunciation of poem? It's not poem, it's poem. It's poem. Okay? Let's get into it. Do you have garden in your home? Do you have flower plants? Which flower do you like? I like rose and jasmine. Have you ever wondered how these flowers are created and who created these flowers? Today we are going to see a beautiful poem which tells us how a particular flower is created and who created that, why it was created. Shall we see now? Are you all eager to see that? Are you all eager? Okay. Students, what is this? Yes, this is lotus flower. Where can we see this flower? We can see in ponds. What is special about this flower? Yes, it is our national flower. It is a national flower of India. Today we are going to see about this special flower and we are going to see how this flower is created and who created this flower, why it was created. Shall we see? Yes. So the title of the poem is The Lotus. It is written by Toru Dutt. It is written by Toru Dutt. Toru Dutt is a female poet. Let us see about the poet. Toru Dutt is a Bengali poet. She also wrote in French and English languages. She had traveled to Britain and France in her childhood. So she admired literature there and she started writing poems in French and English. Let us see about the poem. In this poem, she has written about how the flower lotus is created. She has written about how the flower lotus is created. The poem, The Lotus, is a sonnet. So sonnet is a new word that you are learning now. Sonnet means nothing but a poem. So we call a poem as a sonnet if it has 14 lines. That means if a poem has 14 lines, we call it as sonnet. The 14 lines is divided into two parts, first 8 lines and the last 6 lines. First 8 lines we call it as octave and the last 6 lines we call it as sestet. So, a sonnet is a poem of 14 lines and the first 8 lines are called octave and the last 6 lines are called sestet. Have you understood the meaning of sonnet? What is the meaning of sonnet? Sonnet means a poem of 14 lines. So, it will be divided into two, 8 lines and 6 lines. 8 lines we call it as octave. We have a separate name for that. So, 8 lines octave, 6 lines sestet. Okay. This is the poem page. The Lotus by Toru Dutt. So I have said it has 14 lines, isn't it? So if it has 14 lines means that is called sonnet. So here we have 8 lines. That is, first 8 lines is called octave and the last 6 lines is called sestet. So this poem is a sonnet. Okay. Let us read the poem. Love came to Flora asking for a flower. That would of flowers be undisputed queen. I repeat, love came to Flora asking for a flower. That would of flowers be undisputed queen. Here, love is a character. Love came to Flora. Who is Flora? Flora is a Roman goddess of flowers and spring. Flora is a Roman goddess of flowers and spring. So, love, he came to Flora asking for a flower. Why did love come to Flora asking for a flower? That would of flowers be undisputed queen. How this flower should be? This flower should be the queen of all other flowers. This flower should be the queen of all other flowers. So, love came to Flora, that is goddess of flowers. So, she is a goddess of flowers, no? So, she will make flowers. So, for that, love came to Flora and asked her to give a flower or create a flower. That flower should be undisputed queen. What is the meaning of undisputed? Undisputed means uncomparable. Undisputed means uncomparable, or it should not compete with other flowers, should not compete with that particular flower. So undisputed means uncomparable. So love came to Flora asking for a flower. That would of flowers be undisputed queen. Shall we go to third line? Okay. The lily and the rose. So here the poet introduced two flowers, that is lily and rose. Long had been rivals for that high honor. The lily and the rose long had been rivals for that high honor. Here rivals means competing. So lily flower and the rose flower are competing for a long time for high honor. That is, who is the best, rose or lily. So they both are competing for the high honor. For some particular place, they are competing for so long time. So it is said by love. Love said that I need a flower. That flower should be the queen of all flowers. And he also said lily and rose are competing for so long time for the high honor. So I don't want this lily and rose, but I need a flower, new flower. So likewise, like that the love said to Flora. Okay. Birds of par had sung their climes. Birds of par had sung their climes. What is meant by birds of par? Birds of par means great poets. Bards of Par means great poets. Usually the poets used to write poems on praising a particular flower. So here great poets had sung their climes. What is the meaning of had sung their climes? Had sung their climes means written poems in support of either the rose or the lily. So here the bards of Par, great poets, had written poems in support of either the rose or lily. So here bards of Par had sung their climes. Here their refers to lily and rose. So some poets supporting lily and some poets supporting rose. Next line. The rose can never tower like the pale lily with her Juno mien. You can see that this line has double quotation. There is a quotation mark here. That means this line is said by bards of Par. That means great poets. Okay. What did they say? The rose can never tower like the pale lily with her Juno mien. So the lily supporters, that is the poets who support lily, they said that the rose can never tower like the pale lily with her Juno mien. What is the meaning of Juno and what is the meaning of mien? Juno means queen of gods. Juno means queen of gods. Mien means a person's appearance. A person's good appearance, we call it as mien. It's a old English. So mien means a person's appearance. So Juno mien means Juno, queen of gods. Queen of gods appearance is very majestic. So it has very majestic appearance. So lily flowers appearance is compared to this Juno god, that is queen of gods appearance. Lily flowers appearance is like a Juno god's appearance. So like that it is majestic. So lily flower is majestic and it is very pride. It has some pride appearance. So the poet compares lily with Juno. So the poet said that the rose can never tower. It cannot tower like lily. That means it cannot have pride like lily flower. Next line. But is the lily lovelier? So again you see double quotation here. So this is also said by the poets, bards of Par. But is the lily lovelier? Now the poets who support rose flower, they said, but is the lily lovelier? So we usually use beautiful and lovely, these words, delicious, these words with rose flower, isn't it? But is the lily lovelier? It is not lovelier like rose. So the rose supporters are saying like this. Okay. Let us read from here. Bards of Par had sung their climes. Bards of Par has they had written so many poems supporting rose and lily, and here are some words. The lily supporters are saying rose can never tower like lily because lily has the appearance of Juno god, and rose supporters are saying, but is the lily lovelier? Rose is lovely, but lily is not lovelier. So like that, the rose supporters are saying. Next line. Thus between flower factions. So the there is a competition between the Lily and the Rose, that is two flower factions, rank the strife in Sykes Bower. Strife means competition. Strife means competition, competition between Rose and Lily. Flower factions means group of persons who supported one flower and opposed the other. That means a group who supported rose flower and a group of persons who supported lily flower and opposed the rose flower. So flower factions means group of persons who supported one flower and opposed the other. Opposed means against. Supported one flower and written poems against the other flower. So this competition, the flower factions, this competition is happening in Sykes Bower. What's the meaning of Sykes Bower? Bower means tree shade. So a pleasant place in a tree shade. Bower means a pleasant place in the shade of a tree. So bower means a pleasant place in the shade of a tree. Sykes Bower means, Psyche means is a beautiful princess. Psyche is a beautiful princess. It's a character, it's a beautiful princess. And this princess is loved by Cupid. The Sykes Bower means Sykes pleasant tree shade. So that this competition is going on. The argument is going on. Okay. Have you understood? Again, let us see. Love came to Flora asking for a flower. Who is Flora? Flora is a Roman goddess of flowers and spring. And love asked flower from Flora. That flower should be undisputed queen. That flower should be the queen of all flowers. And already Lily and Rose are competing for a long time for the high honor. So it was competing for the long time. These two flowers are competing for the long time for the high honor. Now, Bards of Par, great poets had sung their claims, sung about Lily and Rose. They had written poems about Lily and Rose. And Rose can never tower like Lily with her Juno mien. That means Lily has Juno's majestic appearance, but Rose doesn't have that. So the Lily lovers are saying that, and the poets who supports Rose, they are saying Lily is not lovely. But is the lily lovely, or Lily is not a lovely flower? Rose is the lovely flower. And this competition is happening in Sykes Bower. That means the area is Sykes Bower. Bower means pleasant place in a tree shade. Okay, so have you understood? Any doubts, students? Okay. Can you underline the rhyming words? Okay. What is meant by rhyming words? We have to see the end of the line. So the last word, if the last word is rhyming together, means that is the rhyming word. The first line is flower. Here we are going to pronounce it as flower, because for rhyme scheme, for rhyming, we are going to pronounce it as flower. Okay. Next line, it's not rhyming together. Yes, queen. What is the next line? Bean. So these two words rhyming together. Queen, bean. And now power. So here we should not pronounce here. In this poem, we have to pronounce this as power. Okay. Flower, power. These two words rhyming together. And then queen, bean. These two words rhyming together. Okay. So flower, power. So these two words rhyming together. And queen, bean. These two words rhyming together. Again, tower, and this word is also rhyming together with power and flower. Okay, and mean, bean, queen, bean, mean. These three words rhyming together. And then between, and this also rhyming together with this word between, mean, bean, queen. And now the last word, power. Power, here flower, power, tower, and power. Okay, so what are all the rhyming words? Flower, power, tower, bower. These four words rhyming together. And here queen, bean, mean, between. These four words rhyming together. Okay, have you understood? Okay, next stanza. This is called sestet. Next stanza we will see it in next class. Okay, I'll give you some questions. You write that in your classwork. Okay, you read the poem aloud in your home. Okay, you write down this poem in your note and read the poem aloud. Okay, I'll give you the assignment. I will give you some questions. You have to answer that, okay, in your own words. Okay, we can see in the next class. Thank you, students.